As you can see in the 3D model I created,
The container home is supported by 16 cylindrical concrete columns, 4 rows by 4 rows.
And so that's what you see here, setting up batter boards. They're basically pieces of wood set up a few feet beyond the footprint of the foundation, and then you attach strings to the wood at pre-measured points, and the strings provide visual and measurement accurate reference points for digging foundation holes and more. Here I am putting the last few strings in place, and as you can see, I love this shot here at the end of all the strings lining up in a nice level plane.
Check them out, guys. Half a day of digging, 4 of these suckers done. That being said, the elevation of the ground was lower here, so we didn't have to dig as deep. Probably about an hour sunlight left. So I'm gonna see if circle open. Cut a few slits through and insert a hose clamp. Yeah, just like that. What you're left with is a size adjustable factory straight line edge ring to use as a physical guide as you cut your straight line around the tubes. Per my structural engineer's plans, each tube would have to be cut to a length of 46 inches. So this here was a tough one. Here I am lifting one of the sonotubes up into place by myself. They weren't too heavy, but getting a good stance was a bit awkward given all the holes in the ground and the rebar everywhere.
jig's gonna go anywhere other than up.
As I've built the actual house, I've continued adding to and developing the 3D model. The model actually provides me incredible assistance as I can plan every aspect of the home in advance and figure out what parts and pieces work for framing, electrical, plumbing, etc. This includes the many decisions I had to make about framing, like how to frame the corners of a container home where the double top plate should overlap, but can't because of that big corner cube containers have. And other things like how to install windows in a container, which as you can see in the 3D model, there were multiple layers to the final system I ended up using. This new updated 3D model is available to download and explore right now. Just click the link in the description below to learn more.
Try it now. Just like that. You know, it went in pretty well, but obviously here it's still elevated. Little smack won't fix. Now we're looking a lot better here. Don't think that's going anywhere.
The containers aren't even on the foundation, so you might be like, why are you worrying about, getting rid of some rust when you haven't even put the containers on the foundation yet? Well, because there's 3 containers and they're going to go, all 3 of them squashed together right next to each other. That means that some of these walls of the container are going to be forever sealed like a tomb, sealed forever.
Rain day is finally over. The building blocks of my home are in their final resting place. A long journey still awaits. It's not a home yet. It's time to cut the walls out from the interior walls of the shipping container home.
There's cut number 1. This whole wall is going to get taken out. Now the next cut is 118 inches.
All the walls have now been removed. It's definitely a big step. What I'm working with here, so. And those gaps up there is what we're moving on to next. Gotta seal them. In the meantime, I'm gonna start working on the backer rod. Now these are pretty big gaps, as you can see. They actually measure about just under an inch, and it actually gets a little thinner as you go over there. The reason for that is that there are some slight inconsistencies in the container. Sometimes they're a little crooked or bent. There's technically always a gap between containers because, as you can see, the corner fittings, these cubes on the corners, they stick out a little more than the top rail here. There's always going to be a gap. We are going to be finally welding these strips that I cut out from the walls as plates over the gap. So the caulk has pretty much dried as far as I can tell. And now we're going to put this over. We're going to be welding it into place. Now today, covering the holes in the corner fittings of the containers. Now, if you take a look up there at the corners, there's those cubes. If you look inside of here where the two containers meet, water can also potentially leak into the house. So the idea was, aside from caulking it up in there as a bit of a preventative measure, I figured, let me not let water pool in here at all. And even though it looks like it can easily flow out, it just doesn't seem like a good idea. So what I figured was cover these holes up. using. This new updated 3D model is available to download and explore right now. Just click the link in the description below to learn more. Now I gotta mark the top line. I've already begun. All right, we've got the laser level now sitting on its back, providing us with a vertical line mark. Here we have our angle iron. These are 2 by 2 by 1/8 inch thick angle iron. Very important. No, it's not final and it hasn't been welded into place, but kind of just stuffed it in there. See, that looks perfect, man. Wow. That is freaking bro. A little bit of an offset there, but it's exactly the way it's supposed to be. Okay, so I got this window clamped up now with the small pieces of angle iron. It's an example of what it looks like. Just goes in right up into that nook, the L shape of the angle iron, fixed perfect. Give it a little bit of a clamp, and I'll have no problem welding right here and right there. No problem at all. Of course, I have it all the way around. I got that L piece right there. Still haven't cleaned these up, so it's still covered in splatter. Yeah, these things they ain't moving anytime soon.
All right, so I've been out here.
All right, next section is in place. Piece number 1, and then piece number 2 starts here, where you see the bottom plate end and start. It's a very interesting situation because the top plate on this one stops right where this one, the window starts. So I had to get the measurements perfect. Almost the entire 40-foot span of wall for the first day took the longest. So more framing. See these joists here attached to joist hangers. You got your bottom plate. This is interesting here. This is a hold down. Has a bolt right there. It's nutted on, screwed into this corner post, and then that bolt there goes straight down through the floor of the shipping container, and it's embedded into the concrete column itself with an epoxy glue, adhesive, I guess you can call it. As I've built the actual house, I've continued adding to and developing the 3D model. The model actually provides me incredible assistance as I can plan every aspect of the home in advance and figure out what parts and pieces work for framing, electrical, plumbing, etc. This includes the many decisions I had to make about framing, like how to frame the corners of a container home where the double top plate should overlap, but can't because of that big corner cube containers have. and other things like how to install windows in a container, which, as you can see in the 3D model, there were multiple layers to the final system I ended up using. This new updated 3D model is available to download and explore right now. Just click the link in the description below to learn more. Alright everybody, so welcome back to another update video. Today I'm going to be doing a plumbing tour for this shipping container home. Come around here. This is the main exit to the septic tank. So as you can see, here's a little better idea. I spent weeks planning, researching, compiling all the things I needed to buy, putting the order in through Home Depot so it could be delivered here. Execution, I basically spent 7 days straight flopping around in the sand installing the plumbing. But I'm impressed with what I did because I was basically by myself the whole time, did it all, and there was really very few hiccups. I had a few issues, a few things that kind of screwed up that needed to go back and kind of rework, but again, nothing significant, nothing crazy. But first, let's start on the outside and let me show you guys in more detail what is going on here. So here we have sort of the end of the line, so to speak. This is right underneath the kitchen sink. We have a clean out plug and adapter at the end. Clean out plug and adapter at the end. That's the end of the line. This is the kitchen sink. As you can see, the drain for the kitchen sink runs out the bottom of the floor. We got a 90-degree elbow, a little bit of extra pipe. Here we have a 45-degree street elbow right here. That 45 connects to a Y, and this Y is a 3-inch by 1.5, if I'm not mistaken, inch. So it's a 3, and a 1.5. We continue, our main line comes through. We have galvanized straps. They kind of double loop in a sense. And there are screws through the bottom of these beams underneath the shipping container, these steel beams. These screws right into it, and that ain't going nowhere. So we continue. We follow the main line. We continue to the next eventful moment here. This here is actually the drain for the laundry. This is the drain for the laundry, believe it or not. But if you follow it up, as you'll see when I go inside the house, it's also the vent for multiple fixtures. The clothes washer drains down, and again we have a sort of similar setup here where we have a 90-degree, this is a 2-inch now. This is a 2-inch pipe because it's a vent pipe as well. So this 2-inch 90, we got a small piece of PVC in the middle to connect with this 45-degree street, 45-degree 2-inch street bend, which now connects to this Y here. This is a 3 by 3 by 2-inch Y. And then, of course, that now continues down the main line. Continues. We got another galvanized strap. Continues over here. And again, this is the sort of end of the line. We just followed that all the way back there. Coming. Here, the septic guy is going to continue it. When the guy who's installing the septic system, he's going to do that. He's going to continue the 3-inch into the septic system somewhere in this vicinity. But that's not the end of the plumbing, because as you can see, we have a connection here. Let's pull back for a second so you can see the whole thing. So I'm going to do something here real quick. I'm going to go ahead and open these doors. And it just occurred to me right now. This will give you a lot better sense of what the hell's going on plumbing-wise. Yeah, why didn't I think of this? The 2-inch vent out the roof comes down and then acts as a connection over here This is actually a drain line for the bathroom sink, which is over here, actually, hidden behind the green door. Shower, toilet, bathroom sink. So the bathroom sink, the water drains. It comes this way. Boom, this is acting as a vent for the bathroom drain. It comes down, sweeps in, and comes out. To your left here, we have the toilet. Comes down, sweeps in. And over here, as you see, that's the bathtub. That's the plumbing for the bathtub. That little part sticks up. And of course, the bathroom comes down. It drains over here. It connects to this because this stack is acting as a vent for the bath, the shower as well. That's why it came this way and connected down there with the sanitary tee. And then comes down. So again, let's look at this a little closer here. So again, there's your bathtub / shower plumbing fixture. The water comes down the bathtub drain. It comes this way. It comes down. It comes down through here. It hits the P-trap. Comes. Flies its way over here. To the sanitary tee, which again is connected actually to the 2-inch vent. And then it comes down and it drains out. So that definitely helps illustrate what I'm trying to talk about. I'll show you the inside. So this is the plumbing from the inside of the house. So here's the kitchen. Kitchen window, kitchen sink. We're going to get into the supply lines in just a moment. Let's focus on the sanitary for now. So the kitchen sink's about here. The water comes down the drain, comes through here, goes down, and then out to the septic system. But it also branches up here, and this acts as a vent for the kitchen sink. And what's it doing, everybody? What's it going to do? It's going to connect to this 2-inch vent / drain. Goes up through the roof. 2-inch by 1.5-inch sanitary tee. No water is coming through this pipe. This is purely a vent. This, however, there is water going through this pipe. This is the drainage pipe for the laundry. Remember I mentioned laundry earlier? That's what connects. So this is actually, this vertical is acting as a vent for the kitchen sink. And it's acting as a vent and acting as a drain, essentially, for the drain pipe that's going from the laundry. So let's go take a look at the clothes washer. The clothes washer, but again, this is the laundry. Clothes washer, dryer are going to be in here. We have the typical setup for a clothes washer. It's got hot water, it's got cold water supply. That'll connect with a steel braided hose, I believe, to the clothes washer. But let's focus on the drainage first. The water from the clothes washer is in here, comes down, P-traps, and yes, this is sloped. Believe it or not, I sloped this around the corner. It comes through, it 90s right there, flips around, continues. We're on the other side of where we were a moment ago, and then it drains down. Drains down. And again, earlier I mentioned the bathroom sink. This is it. Remember? Shower, toilet, bathroom sink. And what this is essentially is, this is a few pieces here went into this. A lot of research it took me. This is called a trap adapter. So oftentimes under a sink, you've got that whole kind of P-trap assembly. Well, that P-trap comes here. It connects through here. This screws on and creates a watertight seal. It's called this piece right here, from here to here, is called a trap adapter. Trap adapter. To connect the trap adapter to this 90-degree elbow, there's a small piece of PVC in here. Small piece of PVC, about that wide, to create a connection point. This 90-degree elbow now comes through here, through the wall, and both drains out of there and vents out of here. All right, water supply, water supply, water supply. Where do we begin? Well, we begin at the well. The water is through a submersible well pump, is pumped up through the well, 80 feet deep. It comes through this PVC underground. Underground, it comes inside. It goes inside of the well pump house over here. Right here, we have a water supply line that comes out. 1 inch PVC water comes out underground. It comes about this direction. Obviously, there's the container home, and it starts heading to the shipping container home. This is the idea I came up with in the designing phase. The water supply comes underground, 90-degree elbows up. Now, this is PEX. This is 3/4 inch PEX. This is a 3/4 inch PEX. And what do we got? We got some clamps, and it runs all the way. This is a water supply line. So the water is going through a 3/4 inch PEX all the way over there. Main water, the main 3/4 inch water supply, it's coming from where we were just at all the way over there, comes this way, comes through here. And again, this is all part of the system I designed, and I think ultimately it was a good approach. The main water supply for the house enters in 2 locations. One here, this is a 3-way shark bite, 3/4, 3/4, 3/4. The water's coming from the pump, from the well pump, comes through here, 3/4 inch PEX. It now comes up here and enters the house for the first time. Water enters the house for the first time. But it also continues down that way, and it enters the house for a second time. Now, what is going on here? Well, let me show you. The first time the water supply enters the house, this is what happens. There it is. Behold. So get you a nice orthographic. You can see it's going straight up into that. And what is this? This is a multi-T port. I believe that's the name. Or a multi-port T. But I think it's a multi-T port. This is actually made by SharkBite. It's made by SharkBite. And what it is it allows your main 3/4 inch water supply to enter the home and then branch off to supply water to 3 fixtures. This is a 3/4 inch push to connect SharkBite. These are 1/2 inch push to connect SharkBite. 3/4 main line in, and then it downsizes to 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. And then here you have your blue 1/2 inch water supply lines for your various fixtures. So before we go into the house and I show you that in more detail, let's continue the journey for the main water supply line. Remember, it's coming from the well over there. It comes in 3-way, 1 into the house, keeps going, and we follow it. And where does it go? It comes in right there. And let's take a look at where our 3/4 inch supply line branched off to our 1/2 inchers. Let's take a look here. So now we're on the inside view. The 3/4 inch comes up, 3/4 multi-T port, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. We have various things that need to be supplied in this bathroom. This three-way was perfect for my needs because the bathroom needed 3 supplies. A cold water supply for the shower, and that's what this is. You can see it just runs and connects into this shower fixture here. And then we have another branch off. So the next one is for the toilet cold water supply. You follow this, and then here we have our toilet. This is our toilet cold water supply line. Toilets only need cold water, so you don't need to run a hot one. And then lastly, we have the last one. This one runs up, comes through here, and supplies the cold water for the bathroom sink. Don't worry, we're going to get to that red hot later. So, give you an idea. So when I found out that SharkBite had these, I was like, holy crap, that's exactly what I'm looking for while I was planning this. So that's that. Now, remember we had this other one here. Remember that there was the other 3/4 inch supply line. So you can see the white, a little bit of white there. 3/4 inch comes up into a multi-T port, and again, three fixtures, 3 supply lines, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. Well, let's go ahead and follow the first one on the bottom. Comes up, rises up here, comes around here, through there. Now, what is going on here? Well, this is the cold water for the tankless water heater. So there's going to be a tankless water heater right here. That cold supply is going to come in. Through here. We have a 90-degree shark bite, drop ear elbow. It comes in. It turns out. You can ignore this for now. This was a temporary thing. So again, the 3/4 inch comes. We have our stub out here. And then this here stubs out. We'll probably shorten it in the end. But this stubs out. This connects to the cold side of the tankless water heater. So it comes in on the right side of the tankless. It comes into the tankless water heater. It does its thing. And then it comes out the other side, connecting to this red hot water 1/2 inch PEX. So everything that's on the left side of this is coming out of the tankless as hot. So what does it do? Well, it comes out of the tankless water heater. It comes through this, it's another 90-degree, 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch shark bite. Again, same thing here, 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch. The hot water comes in, it comes up, and then I hit a little bit of a roadblock here. Because as you can see, we have this another wonderful multi-T port. Look at the beauty on that. It turns out I only needed 4 hot water supply lines. This is the most they had, I think. I think they only had a 4. They might have had one with more, actually. I don't remember. But that wasn't my issue. But this was perfect for me because it's 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch for my hot waters. But the problem is that they didn't sell. I could not find any of these multi-T ports where this was 1/2 inch. Every single one I ever found was 3/4 on the bottom, and then you have your downsized 1/2 inch. Well, that was a problem because the 3/4 inch, that's outside. That's the main water supply line. The water that's feeding the heater is coming from a 1/2 inch, and then 1/2 inch comes out the other side. So I had to do something a little bit, maybe slightly unusual, but I looked it up. I don't think this is going to affect water pressure in a negative way. Your 1/2 inch hot water comes through here. It comes up, and then what I had to do was I had to put a small piece of 3/4. As you can see, you recognize the white. A small piece of 3/4 inch PEX. So what I did was I found a 3/4 inch to 1/2 inch shark bite push to connect adapter. So the 1/2 inch hot comes in, the 1/2 inch hot comes up, connects to the 1/2 inch here, becomes a 3/4, allowing me to put a 3/4 inch piece of PEX here, which then allows me to adapt to the 3/4 multi-T. That was a bit of a hiccup. I wasn't sure if I could do that, coming from 1/2 inch to 3/4, then to come back to 1/2 inch. I researched it. I didn't find anything that suggested that would create some kind of an issue with water pressure. So it comes up, and then now we work. Now, as you can see, 4 hot water supply lines. 4 hot water supply lines. Where are they going? Where are they going? Okay, well, let's start with the first one. Our first hot water actually loops back. So this hot water supply line comes down. It loops back and supplies the hot water for our clothes washer, for the clothes washer. The next hot water supply line, if you follow it, comes up through here, comes up all the way up, and actually goes over the roof rafters because there's that gap up there. It's very convenient. I didn't have to drill holes through the rafters. I can just go over the roof rafters. Over the roof rafters, and comes down and supplies the hot water for our bathroom sink. And how are these attaching? Well, pretty simply, you have another familiar 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch shark bite push to connect drop ear elbow. These come with these little things little tabs for screwing. And it just pops out here and eventually will connect to the hot water supply line. So that's that one. We covered the first one. We covered the second one. The next one comes up, loops up, crosses over the I-beam, and we follow it, and it actually supplies the hot water for the shower. So it comes down, it runs. It comes in on the left side of here. Cold water on the right, hot on the left. It comes in, goes through here. Now it's in the system, and then it can go either up to here. We have, again, I showed you that earlier, as a shower head, or it comes out the bottom of this. Comes out the bottom and bathtub spout. And of course, the last of the 4 hot water supply lines comes up, goes over, heads that way, and where does it go? It goes down, and it goes to our kitchen hot water supply. Kitchen hot water supply. Now there's still a few more of these colds we got to cover. We follow the other one, the other cold. It comes up here. Here, half inch by half inch by half inch 3-way shark bite branches up, comes up here, and actually supplies the water line for the kitchen, for the refrigerator in the kitchen. That's going to be the supply of water line. But it continues, it comes over here, and of course supplies the cold water for the clothes washer. So let's go take a look at the kitchen real quick. You know, one thing I will say about this build and the way that the plumbing turned out was that this was it was much simpler than other houses where you might have a bathroom on one side of the house and a bathroom over there and a bathroom on the second floor. Basically, all the water supply for this house, plumbing and water supply, all of it was basically in that corner of the house. It's all there. It's all in the corner of the house, all of it. So it helped kind of simplify at least how much maneuvering and navigating I would have had to have taken some of this plumbing. Still a challenge, still required a lot of work, but at least it was all kind of centered in this corner here. Everything was centered in this corner. Made it a little bit simpler for a first timer like me.